What's happening, Achievers? Ajit Studio here from Invincible Achievers. What happens when you plant a conker into the ground? Does it grow into a tree? Well, me and my son had this huge discussion about this. And he wanted to plant the conker that he had got from the park in the weekend. And I said, of course, it'll be a great activity. Let's do that. But I said, what will happen when you plant that one conker in and it grows into a tree? He said, well, once it's grown, I'll have it will give me lots and lots of conkers, and I'll be able to play with them, and I won't have to go to the park to collect all the conkers from the floor because it'll be in the back garden. I said, great, but say for instance, one conker comes out from that tree that has grown, and you plant that. How many trees will you have? He said, well, I'll have two. I said, great, you'll have two trees. And say, once it's grown, you have two conkers on that, and you plant those two conkers, how many will you have? He said, 4. I said, great, you got four trees. Now say those grow, and then you get those 4, and you plant those, how many will you have? He went, it'll be 8. I said, great. And say those grow, and each one has a conker on each of them, and you take them off and plant them, how much will you have? He said, well, now the calculation was getting tough for him because he is only 7. And he said, well, I think it's about 16. I said, great. And after that, you do the same thing. You're going to have 32, then 64. And he was like, wow, okay. So what are you talking about, Daddy? And I said, that's called compounding. 1 plus 1 doesn't equal 2. 1 plus 1, yes, initially it does equal 2. But eventually it keeps growing, then it equals to 4, then 8, then 16, then 32. That is the art of compounding, and that's something that I've learned through my martial art experience. As I do martial arts, as you start off in a white belt, you learn how to punch, kick, front kick, side kick, roundhouse kick, jab, cross, uppercut, hook. You learn those. That's it. That's the first belt. Once you've got that, you go to the next belt. But is it the next part you learn? It's not the next part. It's built upon the foundation. And once it's built upon the foundation, it's like a funnel. The first part is the smallest part. And as you keep going up on the belt, it keeps expanding just like the trees of the acorns. It keeps doubling on itself until you get to a point where it's easy. If we had to draw this on a graph, that graph of our education, our learning, our growth, our love that we give, our contribution, always starts off with a flat line, and then it shoots off. And it's at that point where it's a flat line that we are tested. We are put through the fire to see if we are willing to go through whatever it takes to become whatever we need to become or whatever we want to become. That's the part. And then all of a sudden, when you cross over that threshold, it expands massively, compounding on itself. When you learn a new skill, when you do one course, are you the same person that you were before doing the course? You're not. You're not. You're a completely different person. You got a completely different mindset, different education. If you've done a psychology, one of Tony Robbins' course, what you were before to what you are now is going to be completely different because your thinking has changed. Your process of evaluation has changed. Your state of mind has changed. Same thing when you learn something, when you go to university. If you go to university and you learn something, you go there daily, oh man, gotta wake up, gotta do this, gotta go to the lectures, fall asleep at the back, whatever you do, it's compounding on itself. You never, ever fail at any circumstances because whatever situation you're in, you're learning. You're learning, and it's going into the subconscious. It's going deep down every single day that goes by, and every single time we do something that moves us slightly, inching us forward, it's compounding until the gap is so big, and then you're a black belt in martial arts, and then you go for the next black belt or the next one. Your business grows from making nothing to making millions. by compounding on itself, compounding, reinvesting, reinvesting, reinvesting. Investment, that's all it is, compounding. If you want to become an investor, you just have to learn compounding. The art of compounding is making money, saving money, investing it, and then reinvesting it, reinvesting it, reinvesting it, planting the acorns, the concours, whatever, planting the seeds so the trees begin to grow until you have a huge forest. So the biggest thing and the most important thing, the rule, the experience that I've had, the life lesson is the art of compounding, the art and science of compounding. It's so important. It's in everything we do, even in our relationships. If you're going to go out and meet someone, the first day that you go, you're discussing things and you're telling each other stuff, and it's all excitement and passion, and then you go for the next date and the next, and eventually it compounds on itself because you've learnt your partner's desires and needs, and then you're able to meet your partner's desires and needs, and you're able to bring joy to them to the point where it's decided that you get married, and then it compounds, and you have kids. Just don't compound on kids, guys. 1 + 1 with children is compounded, because 1 + 1 with children, as a parent, anyone who has 2 children will realize 1 child and another child does not equal 2 children. It's actually 3 or 4, because the mindset of 1 child and another child, and then them together equals another child in itself. So we as parents need to be able to see that and be able to adapt. But that's also compounding on our life experience. The first child is always harder to manage because it's us that don't have the skill. The second child is easier because you know how to change nappies and feed them, wean them, do all that kind of stuff. But the new experience for the second child is when the 2 children are together and they're being competitive, or they're playing with each other in a nice atmosphere and you're left out. And then you're like, no, I want to come in and play. But then that's the education of compounding on ourselves. Don't know what it's like to have 3 children, because I don't have any. I don't have the 3 children, but I do have 3 siblings. So, I'm the 3rd child. So from that experience, my parents were probably a bit better people to actually say what it's like. Guys, the art of compounding is the best thing that we can learn, and we should delve into it. Do some research on it. It's everywhere. It's an investment world, but it's in everything in life that we do. So start compounding, keep moving forward, keep adding value to people's lives. And the more you keep adding value to people's lives, the more it compounds. And have a happy day. See you later. Bye.